So I got some new art supplies, and I thought today that we would just do a quick little grid journal with 6 little small mini abstracts. So I've got my Cali art, I've got my Caran warm set, this Derwent shade and tone, and we're just gonna have some fun and have a good playtime. I'm starting off with my 6B pencil, which I love, making marks, loosening up, getting ready to attack this page and these spreads and make something fun. So this is a very important part of my process. I like starting off this way because then I've broken up the page a little bit and it doesn't feel so intimidating and the pressure is off because there's already marks on the page and we can just play. Going back in with a lighter pencil just to make some more marks on the back of the page. I'm going to go in with the black watercolor from Derwent. This is a really inky black. It's super dark, but when mixed with water, you can mix it into a different, wetness and lightness and transparency. So this is one of their inktense colors. This set comes with 7 inktense, I believe, and 3 graphic tints, some watercolor or some charcoal tint, and also 1 pastel shade. So it's a really fun set that was meant for sketching, I'm assuming, and urban sketching, life drawing, those types of things. But I like it with the just using it abstractly. Here I'm using a warm gray color. This is the pastel shade that they include, and this is I want to say this is a tinted charcoal that they have in there, so it's really nice and liquid. It's very matte though, it's not terribly translucent. But of course, if you add water to it, you can thin it down. So now I've cut out some shapes, and these are from this paper that I jelly printed on. That's tissue paper, and I'm just going in with some matte medium, and I've cut out these shapes, and I'm just going to paste them on as sort of a collage element. I like printing on the jelly paper, or excuse me, the tissue paper, just because when you use either gel medium or the matte medium, they pretty much just disappear, the paper does, and it makes it seamless integration into your work, which is nice. So think about all the possibilities that you could use this for. I mean, you could draw on it, you could print on it, and just lay it, pieces of it, to add dimension, to add interest into your collages. That's one of my favorite things to do. And I made this pattern basically by dipping a toilet paper roll into some paint and putting on the jelly print and printing it. Super simple. I believe I have a tutorial on, or actually a demo on me doing that, so I'll leave a link above for you for that so you can check that out. But yeah, real simple way to get marks. And you might say, why would you do it this way rather than just marking on the paper? It just adds a different texture to the pieces and it makes interesting layers. So my work is all about making layers and creating energy and movement. So now I'm going in with this color is the Sanguine. This is also an Inktense color. I have this color in pencil as well, but it's really, really cool as a watercolor / paint. You can see here that you can wet it down and make it gets a little peachy, pinky, orangey color. Super fun and really nice contrast with that black. I like the orange. And I'm just going in with a little bit. I'm trying to be, at this point, I'm kind of being a little conservative in my mark making. I'm not used to working on tiny, tiny things, but that's part of learning is that, sometimes you have to paint in a smaller space. It makes you think differently about your work. Rather than making big bold marks, you have to figure out how to make interest without getting bogged down in the square. And you can see that I'm not completely staying within the lines. It's not one of my strong suits, coloring the lines. So I'm just adding in some interest here and I'm adding in more water. And we're going to go back through and make some light washes over these as well. Always just trying to add interest layers. The last thing I want is, like a super white page with just marks in the middle. I want the paintings to extend all the way to the edge but be contained within the frame. So now I'm let this dry. It's very important to dry between layers, and I sometimes use a hairdryer. This is one of the Cali art markers, alcohol markers that I bought. I bought these mainly because I wanted to experiment with markers, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money on them. I think this whole set was about $20 for 40 markers. Now I'm going to tell you that some of them are terrible. Some of them don't work at all. But for 20 bucks, I mean, you can just play. You don't have to worry about ruining them. You don't have to worry about if they're dried out. You just pick another color. I mean, there's plenty of colors to choose from. So now I'm going in with a different color. This is more of a traditional blue. Oh, that's the other thing. They don't have names on them. They just have numbers. So I don't know what color. They don't have specific color names. So this is blue. But more of a cool tone blue and less of a blue-green. And I'm just going in and laying down some light marks. I don't want too much of this color in there, but I kind of like the way the alcohol markers are transparent almost, and you can see the layers below, which is something that I really like. Now we're going to go in with this rose Caran Neocolor 2. If you've not played with the Neocolor 2s, they are phenomenal. They're very, very creamy, super easy to apply, vibrant. You can also, they are water soluble, so you can add water to them to make more of a wash. I'm not going to use them that way in these pieces, but I have used them that way in the past and they work amazing. But I really love this pop of pink. I think it just adds a lot of, I don't know, distinct character to it. Pops of color, really makes you like look through the work rather than just, it's just the final dimension of it that adds in texture and dimension and gives your eye something to move around the piece. You might notice that every time that I add a color, I usually try to add it in 3 places because that will give your eye the chance to travel throughout the work without getting stagnant, and color can help you move through a piece as well as texture and layers. But I really like this color and I love these Caran colors. They are super fun. This is the warm set that I just bought. So it comes in, there are no cool colors in it, but I'm a warm color. I like mixing my warm colors and my dark colors. So here I'm adding just a little bit of this is the yellow ochre from that same set. And this is going to be just little tiny dots of color. And you can see as you move through the piece that I'm just adding in 3 little dots of color and lines. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them as best I can. This color I love with this pink, and I'm kind of, I'm looking at this palette now, and I've kind of noticed that it's kind of a 1960s, 1950s feel to it. Sort of that Art Deco kind of color. I'm not quite sure that was what I was going for, but I like it. I like it a lot. So now I'm going in with my Posca pen and I'm going to just add in some white and generally just to break up some of that dark. It got a little, I like adding white because it tends to bring back your focus a little bit and also can break up when you get too complicated. And this piece maybe got a little too complicated. So we're going to add some white and then you're going to see me add in some white paint. So I'm going to put on some music right now and let you guys enjoy the rest of this video. And then I'll come back at the end. So I hope you enjoyed this little peek into my grid journaling. Just adding in some white paint here. And don't forget to like and subscribe and check out my other videos. And I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much. Bye.